Hey everybody, welcome to your crypto chart update for November 29th, 2017. I'm your host Tim, a retail investor and journalist. The crypto chart update is where we analyze the latest charts in the crypto coin space using technical analysis. And today we're going to talk about Bitcoin hitting 11,000, the altcoins going through the roof. Almost across the board, we've seen huge increases in all of the cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about why that is, how high they can go, and should you be afraid? When is this bubble going to pop? Or should you jump on the train now and make some more profits? As always, you can find my regular chart rundowns on tradingview.com or follow me on Twitter, both under the name Berlin Trader 591. That's Berlin Trader 591. Follow me, send me some messages, or alternatively, leave me a comment in the comment section under this video and I'll try to react. And please leave your comments and questions about specific charts. If you want me to look at a specific coin, an altcoin, or have a specific question about my analysis, let me know. Also guys, if you like these videos, if you appreciate what I'm doing, I really appreciate the support. If you click through the affiliate links below my video to all the recommended brokers and tools that I've actually used and tested, because a little bit comes my way. Or send me a little tip in the tip jar. I have my wallets below. I know it's hard to get rid of those. Hard to let go of your Bitcoins, but send me a tip if you are able. And remember, this is only for entertainment purposes. There are no official trade ideas in this video. Just sit back and relax. And if you're going to make a trade, contact your regular official financial advisor. But without further ado, let's have some fun and let's look at some charts. As always, we start with the big kahuna, the Bitcoin. And as we speak, as I said, we've just crossed the 11,000 mark. The numbers are moving. The ones are ticking to twos, and the twos are ticking to threes. And to be honest, my target originally was around 10,100, where that's where I took profits. And we've just busted through that with reckless abandon. And here we are pressing up against 11,000. But I still seriously see some resistance around here because a lot of the Fibonacci levels also congregate around this 11,200 to 400 level. So is it gonna pop through that and head to 12,000? Well, it certainly could, because right now it's certainly an irrational market. But I do expect, if we see a pullback, it to happen around this 1,200 level. So that's an interesting discussion. I missed this whole area of profit, right? I missed the 10,000 to 11,000 move. Am I going to freak out about that? No. And that's maybe the most important part about trading. Just like it is in poker, you cannot trade on tilt, right? You can't play more risky game. You can't put more risk on the table and double down just because you missed a move. You missed it, it's okay. It's impossible to catch the whole move, right? Sell at the top, buy at the bottom. I mean, if everyone could do that, then everyone would be rich, but no one can do that. So you just try to get most of the move. I captured maybe 8,800 to 10,000, 20% move. I could have had a 50% move, but you know what? That's how it is. So I'm happy to get what I can. And some people get lucky, and they tell their success stories, but they're the outliers. They're the ones who bought at the bottom and sold at the top. They won the lottery. But most people go away with a smaller piece of the pie, and a lot of people stay in too long, and before they know it, it's crashing, and there's a liquidity crisis, and they can't get out, and they sell lower than they bought. So targets are being hit, they're being broken through. And our next target is that 11,200, that Fibonacci level. It's the only way we can make targets right now is with Fibonacci levels. And those seem to be working. It's another great example of how these levels come into play. We've seen support and resistance at those levels at multiple times. And so that's what we rely on. We just try to capture a piece of that move. So Bitcoin going hard, going strong, nothing can stop it. And I can't wait for that thing to pull back, because it's going to be fun to see the run for the exits, and if it bounces as quick as it has before, are we going to see a V reversal like always, or are we going to see I think we will, of course. We'll probably bounce off this support around 8,100 and bounce back up, but maybe we're in for a bigger pullback. At some point that will happen. I don't know when that's going to be. We're just going to keep our eye on signs for weakness. Let's check out Ethereum. To be honest, I'm a little sad because I've been in Ethereum for a few days now and it hasn't broken out, but just as we do this video, just as we speak, again, Ethereum is breaking out to new highs. Ethereum broke out of that 400 level, popped up, it flagged horizontally. That's called a high tight flag. It's called a high tight flag because the candlestick is here and the flag is high on that candlestick. This is an amazing flag. It didn't even pull back, right? And that's a sign of strength, that it just went horizontal and went up like a staircase. So my target here, my first target is that 565. So I'm waiting for that before I take profits. After 565, we have the next Fibonacci levels around 700. And again, look at this, guys. The Fib levels are lining up. We have the Fib levels based on two retracements here. First, the June to July pullback retracement within the consolidation range, and then the second pullback and consolidation within the consolidation range. I went ahead and made Fibonacci projections on both of those pullbacks because if levels congregate together, then it gives us a stronger picture of where a resistance level might be, a good place to take profits. And two lines matched up there and two lines matched up here, and then we have a third level up here. So really strong resistance levels. I fully expect to see some kind of consolidation around that 565 where I'll take profits and reassess. So Ethereum looking really good. I was kind of sad that it wasn't breaking out this entire summer, and it took a long time, but guys, we're getting that breakout. And as I said, this is a huge consolidation all the way from April until almost December. So it's a big consolidation. So I think we can expect a big move in Ethereum, where on the other hand, in Bitcoin, we've already moved up. Here's Bitcoin again. We've already moved up and we're basically going straight up. So this is like a plane that's stalling out, and at some point it's just going to crash back down. But we have a great opportunity. Pot odds are on our side when it comes to Ethereum. So if I'm looking for a trade, I'm looking at Ethereum more than I am at Bitcoin. If we're above this 410 level in Ethereum, I think we can be bullish and take our profits at those targets. So yeah, those are the big ones, the big kahunas, the mega caps. Let's check out Bitcoin Cash. That's been an interesting discussion. There's been some conspiracy theories going around that, you know, they were going to drop the bottom on Bitcoin and go into Bitcoin Cash. Well, that didn't happen. And to be honest, any conspiracy theory out there, I would disregard. It's fun to play around and understand why, you know, what are the politics behind these cryptocurrencies and who are the players, the programmers, and the developers. You know, there's a book called Digital Gold, and that tells the story of how Bitcoin came to be and all the parties involved. And it's great to understand the narrative, but in my experience, when it comes to politics or money or government, you know, these conspiracy theories are a bit too simplistic, right? I mean, can one group really organize an entire takedown of the Bitcoin network? Maybe it's possible, but I think the odds are against it. So when you hear those conspiracy theories, it's fun to be convinced that one Reddit post gives you the answer to behind the scenes of the whole system, but there's more people involved than a few miners and programmers. Remember, this is decentralized. There's a lot of actors, and there's no way that one actor right now is just going to take over the network. One hacker or one country, right? We saw what happened when China left the game, that Bitcoin actually went up. So even though one big player left the country, the exchanges went off the market, we still saw a rise in price. So it's just people buying these things. Remember, this is just price going up means that people are buying more than selling. That's all it means. So that could be any reason. And I think right now you're just seeing a lot of people move into the space. I mean, it's unbelievable how many people talk about Bitcoin every day. But Bitcoin Cash had that resistance level from the all-time highs, the original highs, and then it broke through that level, it bounced back, and now we've just cleanly bounced off of that level. We retraced to that support level, and we bounced off of it cleanly. And I think I pointed that out in the last video, and now we're consolidating here, and we could move up higher. There's no reason why that couldn't happen. I think the resolution will be up as long as the narrative doesn't change, right? If Bitcoin starts crashing and the government puts a regulation on cryptocurrencies, or something happens like that, then the narrative might change, and that might cause all cryptocurrencies to crash. I don't think Bitcoin Cash is going to be immune. So Bitcoin Cash is rising just like Bitcoin, right? And let's check out the large caps. Dash, the next coins. Dash is really interesting. I love this chart. I mean, you think, oh, Dash has like gone up from 350 to 740, more than a 200% rise. A 200% rise in just a couple weeks. Well, it sounds crazy, but if you look at the history of Dash, it's basically just consolidated in this channel for half of a year. So it almost broke down here. It did look weak. It looked the weakest of all the coins. That was when I was really considering that, you know, the space looked weak in general. But yeah, it just broke back into that channel, and now it's heading up to that upper trend line. And that's a wonderful thing to watch for, guys, when we have a false breakdown, right? We tried to break below this trend line, but we couldn't manage it. And so all the weak hands were shaken out, and the buyers came back in with reckless abandon, and there was no more to sell. There were no more sellers. So now we're hitting that upper trend line. Is this a good place to buy Dash? I would say no, because historically we've always hit that trend line and come down, hit that trend line and come down, and we're hitting that trend line right about now, and good place to come down. So yeah, we're just going to wait for another pullback back to that bottom trend line and just play the range and buy back in. And if this range is any sign, yeah, cryptos are in for higher prices in general. And look at that volume coming in at the bottom there. Green volume, all buying, right? And here on the RSI, overbought above 70. Remember, that's a bullish sign. That means people are buying. No oversold. That's a bullish sign. We haven't even hit a strong selling momentum. So yeah, Dash looks great, but as a trade, I wouldn't get in it right now. Litecoin, you know, Litecoin's pretty crazy. It's got a funny little chart here. We had this nice rounded bottom off of this trend line connecting the lows from May, and yeah, we just kind of hit against that for a few months until finally bouncing off of it cleanly, and right now we're just heading up parabolic, similar to Bitcoin. Litecoin has an interesting relationship to Bitcoin. Let's check that out. You know, we had this head and shoulders, this big head and shoulders pattern against Bitcoin, right? So how strong is Litecoin against Bitcoin? Well, we broke down, we retested this level, and technical analysis tells us that we should fall back down, right, to the same distance as the head, so to right about there. So if technical analysis plays out, then Litecoin should show weakness against Bitcoin. It might be strong against the dollar, right? So Litecoin looks great, right, against the dollar. Wow, it's going from 90 to 100. I mean, 10% move, but Bitcoin is stronger than Litecoin at the moment. So more people are in Bitcoin than Litecoin, and against Bitcoin, Litecoin is showing some weakness, right? It's bouncing up against that resistance level from the head and shoulders. So technical analysis tells us that we should roll over and crash here against Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin shows weakness, right? Think about it. If Bitcoin starts to show weakness and falls like that, that means Litecoin might fall even further, right? Because Litecoin is facing weakness against Bitcoin. So it doesn't look like a great chart pattern for Litecoin, and we can use that to say, okay, maybe in Litecoin we should think about taking profits, right? We're up against these old highs here. We've risen 50-60% in a couple weeks. Maybe it's a good place to take our profits, not because we reached a Fibonacci level, which is way up here at 120, but because against Bitcoin it looks like we're going to roll over, and Bitcoin, we know, is reaching its resistance targets. So if Bitcoin reaches its resistance targets and rolls over, then Litecoin might roll over even more. So Litecoin, it's another way to take some profits, reduce your size, take profits off the table, you know, book your profits, look for better trades. Why be in a trade if it's not the best one? We don't want to be in the third trade. We want to be in the best trade. Ripple, Yeah, I've been waiting for Ripple as well. Another frustrating wait when it comes to watching all the other coins just blow up, and Ripple's just kind of sitting around here consolidating. A nice overall pattern, right? That big flag pattern since May, and it's just gone back and forth in there, and we're hitting once again that upper trend line, maybe the second or third time depending on how you count it. And I'm confident that we'll break out, because again, I think money's going to come out of Litecoin when it rolls over. Money's going to come out of Bitcoin when it goes sideways or crashes a little, a mini crash happens, and money's going to come out of Ethereum, or maybe not so much Ethereum, but money might come out of Dash, for example. And where's that money going to go? Well, right now Ripple is showing potential to give you some returns, so up to those that 43-cent target, which would be a great 50% increase as well. So I think we still have some coins that need to break out. We need some rotation into those coins. You know, it's really hard, it's impossible to predict which coin is going to get the juice, but we can look at the chart pattern and see which coins are showing strong signs, or which coins are breaking out, and then we know, okay, that's where the money's going, that's where the momentum's going to build. Monero, another great run. We got this one, guys. We were waiting for that one a few weeks ago, and it did exactly what we thought. It broke out just like it always has. Just look at the history. Consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, and here we are again, consolidation, breakout. And we saw what happened back in August. It rose from around 38 to 130, pretty insane. And now we're going from 90 to 200. So we've seen a 200% rise in Monero, and it's also a pretty cool product fundamentally. I love what it does. And yeah, we're hitting, actually right now we're hitting those targets right around 200. So might be a good place to take those profits. If we break through this level, then we might see 285. But yeah, 200 seems like a good place to take our profits there in Monero. Alright, so let's check out some of those crazy smaller coins, the altcoins. A few fun ones like Fun, which I've been in. I've seen a nice gain in Fun from 23 to 30, so a 50% increase just in the last day. And my target is this resistance level at the former highs around 36. So looking for another another 6-cent increase from that point, and that's against the dollar. So Fun against the dollar. And you know what I've always find interesting is the former ICO highs when they came out. I mean, just look what happened back in the summer when it came out. The price started, you know, way up here at $1.50, and it crashed all the way down to 1 penny. So there's a lot of room to the upside if that value comes back into the coin. And we got a huge base on Fun. I mean, look at that. If this base can break out of those old highs around 40 cents, then yeah, we might see an increase back up to 25 cents or something. So from 3 cents, 4 cents to 25 cents. So 800% increase or something like that. Yeah, it's just these altcoins are really interesting to watch, because if you want to see crazy gains, then the altcoins is where you want to be. But at the same time, the liquidity is low, they fluctuate widely, and if something goes wrong with Bitcoin, then you might see a lot of money come out of those. So you gotta have a strong heart. VTC, Vertcoin, I really love this one. Some clear levels. We had this run up back in October. We have a consolidation flag, ascending triangle, because the bottom part of the triangle is going up and the top is flat, and we're looking for a flat top breakout, which is something that Kunal from Bulls on Wall Street always says, and that means basically we're bouncing up against this flat top and we want to break out. So thanks to Kunal for that terminology. I like to call it a consolidation flag that breaks out of its resistance, you know. So it's just another way to describe a flag. But if we get over this 590 level, we're going to see a run back up to those old ICO highs way back when at 1130. So another 200% rise could be in store. Stellar, you know, this is one I totally read. I totally wanted to be in it, but yeah, I just missed it, and I just didn't have enough funds in my account to make the trade. So Stellar had a long consolidation from May to November, and again, the longer those consolidations are, the bigger the breaks. And we broke out, we consolidated just above that top trend line that showed strength. We popped up, we consolidated again for another couple months, had a nice rounded bottom here, a nice little cup, and just totally shot out of that. And that would have been a 1 cent to 8 cent 800% increase, and that just shows what happens when you miss a move. You know, you got to move on and on to the next trade. But Stellar looks great. Hope you got in on that one. Byte Ball, yeah, Byte Ball is interesting. It's been falling down since 850 high in June. Pretty big price there. Now it's back down to 283, and it's trying to get over that crucial former support that has now turned into resistance. Former support turns into present resistance. So if we can break up above that resistance, I think we might head back up to see those old highs again. So keeping an eye on Byte Ball. IOTA, man, that's a popular one right now. People are asking me, how do I get into IOTA? To be honest, I'm not in IOTA. I wanted to be, but I just don't like getting in, investing on Bitfinex right now with all the controversy around it. I just feel like I'm going to hedge my bets and go on other exchanges. But if you're in Bitfinex, or I guess there are some other exchanges that do trade IOTA, then yeah, it's a really, really nice move, and it's something we've been watching for a while. A nice consolidation range for months, and finally broke out above that range, held it, and boom, that's what happens. Once you leave those, once you break over those resistance levels, there's no more sellers. Volume comes in, momentum comes in, people start to see it, it comes on the radar, more people get in, and that just creates a feedback loop of buyers, and that's what you're seeing right now. Yeah, and target wise, let's set a little target here. I would say, yeah, we'll set the entire consolidation range, and looks like that would be around 2, basically 2, right? 161.8 retracement at 2. So yeah, I still think we're going to see a little consolidation here and a bump up to 2. So still a good trade. Just keep your stop under that all-time high, under that old high, sorry, at 130. So if it falls below 130, then get out. No more trade. But if it stays above 130, then you can have a target of 2. And finally, let's look at NEO against Bitcoin. You know, we want to keep our eyes on the relationships to Bitcoin. Always, we want to do intermarket analysis. We want to analyze against the dollar, and we also want to analyze against Bitcoin, because that will give us a more perspective and a deeper picture of what's going on. And right now, NEO has put in a double top, and we broke that double top. We came back to retest that level, and looks like now we're rolling over. So I certainly expect to see a fall back down to around 2.002 against Bitcoin. But as we know, Bitcoin is acting very strong at the moment. So when we look at NEO against the dollar, we might not see so much weakness. And here, it's right, we don't see that crash on the dollar. We just see some kind of meandering sideways. So, you know, my prediction is that NEO will reach those all-time highs at around 58. But it is showing weakness against Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin crashes, maybe NEO also rolls over, because it's showing weakness against Bitcoin. So NEO, it's a trade. I think it's an interesting trade, because we did break out of that resistance level, that downward trend line, and we consolidated above it, but we haven't seen the breakout yet above that consolidation level. We haven't seen confirmation of that breakout. And if we fall back down and we break the lows of those consolidation range candles, then we might see lower prices. So doesn't look too weak against the dollar. It looks weak against Bitcoin. It could go either way. It could see more strength, or it could see weakness. And that's why we have stops, and that's why we trade against levels. We don't wait and see what happens. We keep our stops, we stick to them, and we don't want to see, we don't want to get stuck in lower prices. All right, So yeah, that's a good tour of what's happening right now. A lot of things breaking out, going crazy. What's going to happen in the next days and weeks? It's hard to say. Are more people going to come in the space? We got futures coming online. Is that going to create a downdraft or an updraft of funds? It might be counterintuitive, but we might see maybe we see shorts coming in, right? And maybe we see selling in the Bitcoin market because people are unsure what futures means for the market. A lot of people think that it's going to mean an influx into Bitcoin, and maybe that's why there's a lot of buyers right now. But it's often like that in stocks, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So huge buying process up to the futures date, but then on the day of the futures, which is, let's see, when is that? Futures Bitcoin dates. Okay, December 11th. That's interesting. Oh, so that was an error. Never mind. Well, I don't know the date exactly, but look at those, check out those dates, and keep an eye on the price action around those dates. You know, is it going to be a buy a rumor, sell the news event, or sell the rumor, buy the news event? Only time will tell. So guys, it's been a pleasure. Please, again, support me by clicking through the affiliate links. Sign up to TradingView. Follow my trading blog there. Sign up to Coinbase through the links I have. Download the trade or order the Trezor wallet or the Nano Ledger. I have both of them, and they work great for storing your store your Bitcoins offline. Control your private keys. Be safe. You know, make sure you really store those private keys somewhere safe. Be smart with Bitcoin. It gives you an opportunity to be part of something in the future, but you also need to develop a new awareness because a bank is not going to keep your money safe anymore. Guys, hope to do these more often. Really appreciate the support. A lot of love. Peace.